Hayagriva Prabhu did tremendous work for Srila Prabhupada, but he wasn't flawless. If you look dispassionately at some of his work, for instance, let's go to the Easy Journey to Other Planets. There's a famous vignette that came out in Hari Sari Prabhu's Transcendental Diaries, in which the famous moonshot came up. And Prabhupada told Hari Sari, you look in my Easy Journey, and you'll find everything about how they didn't go to the moon and all this. So it's a small book. Hari Sari went and read it a few hours, came back to Prabhupada. Prabhupada, I didn't find anything in there about the moonshot. And Prabhupada said, what? It was in there. Hayagriva was there. And Hayagriva admitted that he took that out because he felt that they would ruin Prabhupada's credibility and this and that. And Prabhupada was furious with him. He said, "Oh, I can't trust you. This is not good." And Hayagriva was stubborn, and there was this whole argument. Finally, he surrendered. He was crying and this and that. So the fact is that Hayagriva had a real problem with our cosmography. And it comes out most obviously in the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. I forget which verse it is, the one that starts Nakshatra Mahang Shashi. This is the line in the 10th chapter, in which Krishna says, "Of stars, I am the moon." Now, there were 2 paragraphs in that purport, and Hayagriva completely eliminated the second one. Because in that paragraph, Prabhupada says, therefore, the stars are just like the moon, and they reflect the sun's light. It's hard for us who grew up in the West to accept that, and Hayagriva said, this won't fly, so we just X'd it out. Now, this is the same category of doubt that is evinced by the doubt of the moonshot not having taken place. And I think we can be safe in assuming that Prabhupada would want that paragraph in there. He dictated it, and it reflected his idea about the cosmography, and Jayadvaita Swami, he restored it. And so this is just one example of Hayagriva Prabhu's inadequacy, in some regards, in his editing. It was for a good motive. He wanted Prabhupada's reputation to be protected or whatever, but he went overboard there. And besides that, at that early date, there were so many other problems. The transcribers couldn't hear the Sanskrit. They were garbled. And Hayagriva, not everyone was so, fixed in the philosophy. There were certain obvious things that he didn't understand. And so this is a specious argument that the magic was there. Yes, the magic was there to a certain degree, but there were also problems with it. And that's why, going back to what I said earlier, Jayadvaita Swami was very careful to preserve those parts of Hayagriva's editing that were creative and were good, were very added to Srila Prabhupada's translations, and rendered them accurately. But where he didn't, where there were problems, for instance, in the 18th chapter, for whatever reason, there's a missing translation. I think it's text 18. It repeats text 19. And that was discovered by Jayadvaita Swami. He restored the proper translation. In 934, which is repeated in 1865, the famous Manmana Bhavamad Bhakto. There's only 3 elements. It says, engage your mind in thinking of me, worship me, and bow down to me. And with your mind fixed on me, you'll certainly come to me. It leaves out, become my devotee. This translation was read to Prabhupada at least 5 or 6 times, I have determined on the database. He never commented on it. But whenever he explained that verse, he always said, Bhavamad Bhakto, this is the essential instruction. So he wasn't hearing editorially again. But who would say that this translation shouldn't be fixed? It's a glaring error. And I would say that the authoritativeness or the authority of the book is compromised by these glaring errors, especially in translation. Another one is in 1854, Brahmabhuta Prasanatma. When one reaches the Brahmabhuta stage, he becomes fully joyful. In the translation, the fully joyful isn't there. Prabhupada often spoke about that point in the translation. Again, it was read to him, he didn't say anything. So these lacks, or these failures of editing, needed to be fixed in order to establish the authoritativeness of the Bhagavad Gita and, frankly, Srila Prabhupada's authoritativeness as a scholar, as a Bhagavad Gita scholar. So, yes, I agree with the tremendous work. No one doubts that. He was an essential and wonderful devotee of Srila Prabhupada in the early days. But why should we preserve those errors which go to detract from the authoritativeness of the book and the accuracy of the translations and the purports, and in this way cloud Srila Prabhupada's legacy?